Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how are you?
Hey, I am fantastic.
Let me be the first to say happy anniversary, sweetheart.
Well, thank you. Happy
Isn't that
anniversary to you.
Yeah, and coming up later in the program, we're going to talk about writing love letters. Carew Papritz. Hope I'm saying that right. I have to ask him how to say his name because I'm reading it and I don't know if I'm saying it right. But Carew is the first name. I know that for sure. Going to be visiting with him. He's got a book. It's a bestseller. First book ever to be the bestseller in fiction and nonfiction. That's awesome.
Cool.
So I'm going to be chatting with him. Listen to this story. In Hungary, an ice skater fell through the ice and was freezing and survived by holding onto the edge of the ice with her teeth for 10 minutes.
Whoa.
She had to use her teeth because her hands were frozen stiff from the cold.
Yikes.
So she was first holding on with her hands, and that was too cold. So she, bit onto the ice with her teeth and hung on for 10 minutes. Well, she was waiting to be saved.
That's why you shouldn't take part in winter sports.
No, I don't think that's the moral of the story.
Dangerous. I think that's the moral of the story.
No, moral of the story is brush your teeth and floss because they might save your life someday. Just saying. Coming up, we got special stuff happening. We'll tell you what that is in a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, February the 11th. First of all, it's our anniversary, so happy anniversary, baby.
Thank you.
It's also Be Electrified Day, so I'm not sure what that means exactly.
I don't know either.
Don't Cry Over Spilled Milk Day, Make a Friend Day, National Shut-In Visitation Day. So if you know somebody that's, a shut-in, go see them today. White Shirt Day and White T-Shirt Day today. Get Out Your Guitar Day, Pro Sports Wives Day, Satisfied Staying Single Day, and World Day of the Sick. So we got all those going.
Pro Sports Wives Day.
Yeah.
Do you really think they need a day?
Well, probably.
As if their lives are so tough, living in their mansions, making millions.
You know what? That's not everybody is in a mansion and making millions just because you're in pro sports. Now, there are some, but there are a lot of people in pro sports. They don't make nearly what you think they make. So just because they're in pro sports doesn't mean that they're loaded. That's one of the things that a lot of people do think, but that's not the case for them. Just like us radio folk. We're not what you might think. Coming up in a bit.
I don't think anybody thinks that.
Oh, somebody does. Coming up in a bit, we're going to talk about no more showers. What? Yeah, that's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. In the future, you might not be able to take a bath or a shower. You could be cleaning yourself the same way you wash your clothes. A Japanese cosmetic company is offering a human washing machine at their Avant salons in Tokyo and other cities. It's a tube-like device that looks kind of like a CAT scan or some other high-tech piece of medical equipment. The machine shampoos and dries your body, even provides a little massage. The customer's head is left outside of the machine, so it won't wash your hair, apparently. The service is $40 for a half hour. Yeah. But don't be looking at getting one of these machines in your house anytime soon. You know how much it costs to buy one of these machines?
How much?
Just take a guess. I'm going to cover this so you can't read. How much?
$50,000.
More than that. Try it again.
$150,000.
More than that.
Whatever.
$161,000.
For something that doesn't even wash your hair.
It doesn't even wash your hair. You get in the machine, it keeps your head out, and it's basically a car wash. Why in the world would you not want to just take a regular shower?
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who take long showers and waste a lot of water, that's a bad idea. Our son takes long showers. You ever notice that?
So does our daughter.
So do
I.
Well, I just noticed it because he takes a shower in the evening.
I'm surprised you even get wet all over. You jump in and it's like the water's off again. I'm like, how on earth?
Yeah,
you run the water longer to warm it up than you do while you're in it.
I just take a quick shower because I don't want to waste water and I don't want to waste time. I got places to go and things to do. That's also why I stink so much. Anyway, this is a true thing in Japan. Avant salons have this machine that you get in, and it's like a giant car wash for your body, I guess. I don't know. They're saying it's like a CAT scan machine, but I don't know. I don't think that's going to catch on. $40 for a half-hour wash.
I mean, if it's half hour and it massages you too, that's if you're doing it just not to bathe yourself daily, but if you're doing it to pamper yourself once in a great while, that's a different story.
I don't see it catching on. But you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. When it's time to take a nap, you might want to pull the car over first. Kermit Allen Gibbs was caught taking a nap sometime after midnight. Cass County, Missouri Sheriff Dwight Dalo said he ran off the road in a one-car accident. They found his car off the highway with Highway 71, with 100 pounds of marijuana inside.
Whoa!
Yeah. Driver was snoozing when the accident took place, but he woke up afterwards, of course. Deputies found drug paraphernalia in the front seat of the car and a brick of marijuana in the back seat. The car was impounded. They said they discovered 100 pounds of pot worth about $75,000 in the car. He said, sometimes in law enforcement you make progress because you're good, and other times you make progress because you're lucky, and they just drive off the road in front of you. So there you go. That happened in Missouri. So, yeah, if you get tired, pull over and take a nap. Don't keep driving. It's a bad idea.
Don't even give that advice to anybody.
I've done it. I pull over and take a nap. She gets mad because when we're riding together, I said, just talk to me. That'll keep me awake. And then here's what her talking to me is. Let me drive. Let me drive. Here, just pull over and let me drive. That's what
because
it turns
your eyes are closed every time I look at you.
I'm like, keep talking to me then.
And you always say, my eyes weren't closed. I was blinking.
I was blinking.
Just like you were blinking at church. You were blinking so long at church, Taylor was able to take out her phone, take a photo of you, and upload it to Facebook.
It was a
but
good
you
blink.
were just blinking.
That was a good blink. All right, coming up, we've got your moment of duh.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
When you want to defrost something, use the right equipment. Don't use a candle. Yeah. A teenager in Austria, not Australia, Austria, learned the hard way. Came to some frozen donuts. 19-year-old was attending a ball in Vienna, Austria. When he wandered into a kitchen, he came across some donuts in the freezer. He took the donuts to another room to defrost them with a candle, but the flames set fire to a sofa. The blaze quickly spread to the paneling. Police managed to evacuate the 600 partygoers, but the 19-year-old fire starter was hurt as he tried unsuccessfully, mind you, to extinguish the blaze before it could spread further.
Nice.
Majority of the damage to the ballroom was from thick smoke that filled every room. Cost $1,000 just to repair the smoke damage. So, yeah. How was the ball? Wasn't all that fun after all. Coming up here in a bit, we've got your scoop of the day. That's on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. Let's head to Malaysia. One city is introducing a curfew there for players of online computer games and cyber cafes. Guess why?
Why?
Politicians decided to take drastic measures after being approached by a worried mother whose teenage son had gone missing. He was eventually found in a cyber cafe where he'd been playing online games for 48 hours.
Holy cow.
Yeah, he was in there all night, all day, all night, 48 hours. Gaming in cyber cafes in the city will now end at midnight. So they're like, yep, if you want to do it 48 hours, you're going to have to just get those things at home.
Wow.
Iran has banned the production of Valentine's gifts. Any promotion of the day celebrating romantic love to combat what they see as the spread of Western culture. Iranian media reported that they don't like Valentine's Day there. They're saying the celebration, named after a Christian saint, is not officially banned, but hardliners have repeatedly warned about the corruptive spread of Western values. You know, we wouldn't want any of that love stuff catching on.
That's ridiculous.
The Printing Works Owners Union issued an instruction on the ban imposed by Iranian authorities, covering gifts like cards and boxes with symbols of hearts and red roses, all banned in Iran because they don't want Valentine's Day catching on there. Again, a little bit of love probably wouldn't hurt.
I think they could use some of that.
Yeah, couldn't we all?
Area.
I mean, seriously. Researchers say eating a daily dose of dark chocolate can reduce your chances of dying of a stroke or a heart attack. That's good news for people who like dark chocolate.
I do like dark chocolate.
I know you do.
I don't eat it near enough. I should
Nor
eat
do
more.
I. We should have more dark chocolate. A study from Manchester Metropolitan University found that there is more bacteria on your cell phone than on a door handle or on a shoe sole or even on a toilet seat. So one more reason I think I need a hands-free device because now I don't want to put my phone up near my face. Ugh. New studies conclude that depression among pregnant women is at least as common as postpartum depression.
Well, yeah, because you're fat and huge and you feel miserable.
So they're saying that new studies say that while you're pregnant, you're just as depressed as you are for the postpartum thing. So.
And you're sick. They didn't really need a study for that.
Well, they have one, and now the results are out. A man from Israel heard that a woman in Metula, wherever that is, had $2.7 million in a travel bag in her bedroom. Of course, he wanted to be a millionaire, so he traveled over to her house, broke in, and took the bag. He was arrested on the way out. But even if he had gotten, he wouldn't have been worth the effort because the bag he tried to steal did not contain the millions. It wasn't U.S. millions. It was Turkish lira, worth about $1 US. So she had millions in Turkish, but it was when you add it up, it was worth about $1. On trial for car theft, so how do you go to court? Police in San Ansmelo, California, charged Tony Van showed up at the courthouse in a stolen Lexus SUV. Police say they investigated the SUV after some people reported several Yorkshire Terriers were left alone in a van outside the courthouse. The van, left inside a vehicle. Van is the guy's name. Van was charged with animal cruelty for leaving the animals in an unattended vehicle, and he was also arrested for stealing the vehicle.
Jeez.
As for the first case that he was there for, he was also convicted of stealing a vehicle for that, too. It was a Porsche worth $125,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So this guy, he likes to steal cars.
Makes poor life choices.
But apparently he's not very good at it because he keeps getting caught. And I don't think that's something you want to be good at anyway.
You don't want to take it to court, especially.
Yeah, you don't. And then
but
leave
he had to
dogs
get
in
to
it
court.
to draw.
He needed a ride. So.
All right, let's get to our strange law. In Tennessee, it's illegal to use lassos to catch fish.
That is something I would really like to see.
Everywhere else, it's just really hard to do. But in Tennessee, it is illegal to use a lasso to catch a fish. Apparently, using a rusty hook is a better way to do it. So there you go. That is a strange law. And this has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. We've got a special guest joining us today, and this guy's going to help us out. We've got cowboy philosopher Carew Papritz. He's the author of the Legacy Letters, and the reason I say he's going to help us out, he's going to teach us how to write some nice love letters. Now, that's going to be a good thing because we got Valentine's Day coming up this weekend. So if you want to take a good gift and make it a great gift, put a nice card with it or a nice love letter. Carew, how are you doing today?
Good morning, John. How you doing?
Fantastic. We're excited to chat with you. You're kind of an interesting guy. You do all kinds of fun stuff. You've signed books on the top of volcanoes. You've signed books on horseback. You've been doing a whistle stop campaign, getting this book out there. And you made history in a couple of ways. First of all, the first book ever delivered by drone. Is that correct?
That's correct. And actually, we just did it the other day. It's been in the planning for a couple of months here. I figured this would be really fun to sort of maybe poke Amazon in the eye a little bit and pick a little fight with Amazon and say, hey, we beat you to the punch.
There you
go. But actually, we delivered it, and it's a fun video that we put together because who wants to watch 10 or 15 minutes or an hour of watching a book go over the town or the landscape? So this is a fun YouTube video. It's sort of a 1950s comedy style thing and it has cowboys in it and drones, and it's got the book delivery, and it's really fun.
It's been flying around the internet. We're sharing that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Now, one of the other things, you are the first person ever to win in 2 different categories. Tell me about that with your book.
Yeah, John, that was extraordinary. So, first of all, I need to tell your listeners that the Legacy Letters is basically a series of letters. It's an inspirational fiction book. The series of letters written by a father who never lived to see his kids, and it becomes a practical, moral, and spiritual guidebook.
Nice.
So with that being said, it's fiction, but it's the first book in publishing history to win awards for nonfiction because it's apparently people are looking at this as a life lessons book also. So that was really an honor to receive that.
So to win in fiction and nonfiction, that's really, really cool.
Yeah, I think so.
Today happens to be my anniversary, and a lot of people, even if you don't have an anniversary this week, we got Valentine's Day this weekend. So we could all use a little help from a guy that's really good at writing letters. If I want to write a love letter, where do I begin? How do I get started on something like this?
All right, here we go. How to write the perfect love letter in 5 minutes or less. Can you do it? It is possible.
What do we start with?
What do we start with besides paper? Well, let me explain why this is really important. The other day, I was talking to my son's class at Career Day, and I told them what I was doing. I'm an author, and I said I'm doing a bunch of these Valentine's Day interviews, and they said, "Oh, that's interesting." I said, "Hey, all right, let's do a bit of a poll in the class, guys." I said, do you think it's important to text a love letter or write one? And they raised their hands, and it was about 50-50. I said, okay, gentlemen, let's go over and ask the ladies. And so I said, ladies, would you rather receive a letter by text? None of them raised their hands. And then I said, what about by letter? They all raised their hands. I said, guys, there's your answer.
Yeah.
And they all looked at me, and a kid piped up in the back of the room, and he said, hey, when are you going to teach us the love letter class?
Yeah.
I thought that was great. So here they are, these kids are, and what's on my mind, John? I thought, all right, I'm going to change the world one hormone at a time. I thought.
Nice.
So anyhow, so the kids are teaching us that, hey, these letters are really important. And the way to write a love letter is, first of all, a letter, why is it important? It's not fast.
Okay.
It holds time. It takes time to write letters. It takes time to get the paper and put the ink. And this is really important to understand because you think, oh, I don't want to write a letter. It takes so much time. That's the point.
Yeah.
The point is to write something that when that person receives it, they're going to know you took time out of your day. And one of the central themes of my book is that time is the most precious gift you can give to anybody. And if you can give that in a letter, and especially time and love, you got it. Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks.
I got my pen. I got my paper. What do I need next?
Okay, all right. First of all, for guys, we got paper in the house. Go to your computer. Go to your printer. Grab it. It's easy. It's one sheet of paper. It doesn't have to be special. Everyone thinks, I got to go to Hallmark. No. The most important thing in the world to do is actually do it. Yeah. All right, so we get up and get a pen. Don't get a piece of, and don't worry about writing. The most important thing is to write it. Yeah. It's handwritten, okay, guys? Number one, start with dear or darling or sweetheart. Not like, hey, right? We see these in these emails now.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah.
Hey, baby.
What do I say? What do we all say? Hey is for horses, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Here it is, the easiest thing. Think of 3 things that your sweetheart does for you, your partner, your wife, whoever, that does for you, that puts a smile on your face, something that's heartfelt, and it doesn't have to be over the top. For example, my wife loves her eggs poached perfectly. Well, after enough years, I've figured out how to, do it. So you can say, I love the way you, poach my eggs, or read to the kids, or, fix my engine, or whatever you want to put. Or always kiss me when I come home, or some small act. But that's all, 3 things. And you just have to say that. And then you say something with, I love you, happy Valentine's Day, and then you sign it. And guys, I say this to guys, and women too, put it in an envelope. Put their name on the envelope. Now, you can hand it to them. You can put it in a special place for them to find. Or you can actually, here it is, get a stamp and put it on there and send it to them, which would be a miracle because nobody gets mail anymore, right? Personal mail.
So that would be kind of cool to mail it out and they'd get it.
Oh, my gosh. Look at the amount of time. 5 minutes, guys. You can think about the 3 things all day. And remember, if you're scared of writing a letter, think of this just as a special note. Sometimes we say letter, and all of a sudden we're going, I've got to write 5 pages. I'm back in school, and I'm sweating. No. This is easy. And I'll tell you what, based upon what I've seen in that class, all those boys, getting a wake-up call, the women and everybody loves to get a letter.
Exactly.
We all do.
If you're looking for some inspiration on what to write, you could also take a look at the book, The Legacy Letters, because that's a book filled with letters.
Oh, my gosh, yeah, because he writes love letters to his wife, and there's letters about taking care of horses and buying a used car, and there's letters on marriage and on money, and they're short letters. And that's the other thing, too. They're not, some of them are 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, but they're all meant to be read in a nice short amount of time, which is what a letter is. And, here's the key. Someone gets a letter, they can hold it. Not like a text, not like an email you print out. And it was funny because in that class, I was telling them about an interview I did, a TV interview, where the host pulls out a letter from his girlfriend that he carried around, and sure enough, in this class, this one boy raises his hand and says, I got something to show you. He pulls a letter out of his wallet from his girlfriend that he carries around.
That's really nice.
Come on. It really was. It was like, man, that was in front of all your buddies, and he did that. I was like, wow, man, that's great.
That is really cool. Again, visiting today with the author of The Legacy Letters. Carew, where can we find a copy of the book, The Legacy Letters?
The Legacy Letters, you can, of course, go to old Amazon. They've got it. Barnes & Noble. Costco has carried it at times and places. The usual guys. And, of course, check on the website, legacyletters.com, and check out some of the, not only can you get the book there, but it's got lots of fun videos of all these different book tours, and you can read excerpts of the book on there.
Again, Carew Papritz, the author of The Legacy Letters. Carew, thanks again for your time today.
Yeah, happy anniversary and happy Valentine's Day.
And the same to you as well. You have a great Valentine's Day, and I bet you're going to sell a couple of books because there's a lot of folks out there that need some help.
That's good, John. All right. Take care.
Again, thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Half of all Americans live within 50 miles of their birthplace. So 50% of Americans live within 50 miles of where they were born. So even though we can go wherever we want to go, we tend to stick pretty darn close to where we were born.
Neither of us do.
No, we don't. We live almost exactly in between where we were born, though, because it was the way to be close to your mama and my mama. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Animal researchers say that elephants may have self-awareness like humans after an elephant proved that she recognized herself in a mirror. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty... Well, how would they know she knew it was her? Maybe she just thought it was another elephant.
That's me. I don't know. I have no idea. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A German university hospital is doing a study to see if high-fat diets can be linked to preventing cancer. I hope that's the case. Finally, I would actually be on the leading edge of something. High-fat diets. They think there's a link, so they're doing a research study right now to find out in a German university to find out if high-fat diets prevent cancer. We'll have to stick around to find out about that. Coming up, we've got memory lapse. We've got a story about that in a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
Do you ever feel like you seem to be forgetting things more and more?
Yes.
You're supposed to quit drinking so much diet soda.
I don't drink diet soda.
Well, then you're just getting old. I honestly don't know that you're necessarily getting old. But they say if you feel like you're having a lot of memory lapse, if you're having trouble remembering things, and if you happen to drink a lot of diet soft drinks, maybe that's the problem. Artificial sweeteners. Maybe you're getting yours in your coffee. Do you use artificial sweeteners for that?
I use creamer, but I don't use
Okay, well,
but maybe there's artificial sweeteners in my in my creamer. I don't know.
I'll read the story. Artificial sweeteners can cause you to lose more than just weight. They can cause you also to lose some of your memory. Researchers at Texas Christian University found that consuming aspartame, that is the sweetener found in many diet soft drinks, can impair long-term memory. Dr. Timothy Barth, who conducted the study, says it doesn't take much either. Drinking more than 1 or 2 diet sodas a day can make you forget how to do things that you thought had become just second nature. Things like cooking a familiar recipe. And it says things like remembering where you put your keys. If you're having issues with those things, maybe you're drinking too much diet soda. You know, the other day I made some jerky because I thought, hey, for that big game we had, I was like, I'm going to make some beef jerky. And I had the recipe. Here's the funny thing. I had put this recipe together myself. You know the one thing I didn't put on the recipe?
What?
How long to cook it.
Oh. Yeah, that would be helpful.
I've experimented with this thing so many times, and I had it down to a science. And, you know, I was making this stuff for a while. You told me to quit.
Yeah.
You're like, would you quit making this stupid jerky? So anyway, I pulled the little recipe thing down. I go through all the steps. I do everything. The one thing I didn't put on there was how long I was supposed to cook it. So that's why I kept checking the grill to see, is it good yet? It's got to be getting pretty soon. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about a computer game that destroyed a relationship. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
If you play too many computer games, you could actually have some problem with your relationship. U.S. computer game addict played in a hospital delivery room as his partner gave birth.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Manda Erickson says her husband plays the internet cyber game EverQuest for about 20 hours a day.
Oh, my gosh.
And has virtually abandoned their 7-month-old daughter. Ms. Erickson is part of an online community of cyber widows, is what they go by. They claim they've had their relationships ruined by these games. She says she and her husband have no relationship. She speaks, he grunts. She asks him to do something. She ends up doing it by herself. She'd like to go back to work, but she's afraid that her daughter would just be crying and her hubby would be too busy playing the games to do anything about it.
Send him to work.
Yeah. So EverQuest is some game that he apparently can play for 20 hours each day. So there's got to be some job that he could do. So there you go. And I don't play video games. I've got an addictive personality. I'm afraid if I even started playing.
I'm sorry, but that is her own fault.
Yeah.
If she's allowing him to sit there and do that all day long and not go and get a job and provide for his family, that's her own fault.
There you go.
So I don't feel sorry for her.
You heard it from Heidi first.
That's ridiculous.
Coming up, we got a James Bond truck. We're going to tell you all about that in a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
I'm almost afraid to admit this, Heidi.
What's that?
I have not seen hardly any James Bond movies.
Me either. I really wasn't a fan.
But the one thing I can tell you, for those of you who are fans, sorry, it's not that I don't like it. I've never even really given it a chance.
I just don't like action movies.
Well, one of these days, I would like to, because the ones that I've seen, I'm like, oh, that was really pretty good. Anyway, the thing that is common in every one of them, James Bond always has a really cool car with a lot of gadgets, right?
Right.
However, in real life, this is not a movie. And this time in real life, it's not a car, it's a truck owned by the U.S. Army. An army of one, the Smart Truck. It's like an ordinary van, but it has armored plating.
That's cool.
And it has gadgets to confuse the enemy. It can disorient enemies with an unusual set of headlights. It has electrified door handles in case somebody tries to steal the truck. And, of course, you can blow out a smoke screen to blind the people that are chasing you as well.
That's cool.
All features that I want to put on my vehicle.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I can do that. Anyway, it's like a James Bond truck, and it's owned by the U.S. Army. Coming up, going to talk about catching some Z's. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Going to talk about getting some sleep, but before we even read this story, I want to ask, how much sleep do you think you get on a regular basis?
I try to get 7 to 8 hours a night.
How much sleep?
Last night, I slept maybe...
Yeah, you didn't get much last night.
2 hours.
How much sleep do I typically get in a regular night?
Well, are we talking from the time you actually come to our bed or from the time you fall asleep?
Well, I think when I go to bed, but I guess, what do you mean by that? Because I fall asleep watching TV?
You fall asleep downstairs.
Yeah, we'll be watching a movie or something, and I'll fall asleep.
I think we get about the same amount of sleep because I say I'm going to bed, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to bed, it's early, and you're usually asleep before I even get up the stairs. So,
no, I'd say I get somewhere between 5 and 7 hours.
Yeah,
and maybe closer to the 5 to 6 hours. Either way, catching enough Z's could be critical to your health. A new study suggests people who get less than 6 hours per night are at an increase for risks of heart attack and strokes. Mm-hmm. That's kind of concerning.
We've talked about this many times.
A long-term study
new.
Based on thousands of people from 8 different countries now found lack of sleep contributes to high blood pressure and high cholesterol and diabetes and obesity.
Wow.
So I think maybe I need to go to bed with you
sleep.
tonight. So when it's time to go to bed, just remind me. Say, hey,
I do that every night, and you always stay downstairs.
High blood pressure and high cholesterol and be fat and diabetic. Wait, I guess I kind of have all that going for me now, don't I?
It's because you don't get enough sleep.
Over half of those already, but that's probably why. I'm going to have to try this. There might just be something to this study finally, Heidi. All right, coming up, we're going to be talking about Barbie dolls, and I can't wait to chat with you about this. This is a fun story. It's a really cool story because we always try to end things with good news, so it's a really good story, but I can't wait to chat with Heidi about her Barbie doll experience. It's all on the way in a bit on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
We always try to wrap things up with some good news, and we're going to get to the good news here in a second, but it happens to be something to do with Barbie dolls. Now, when you were a kid, Heidi, did you have Barbie dolls?
I had like 38 Barbie dolls.
And how long did you play with them? It was like you were way older than...
way older than I should have been. I still was buying Barbies when I was 13. I loved Barbies.
And now, what did you do with them when you were done? Where'd they go?
We just got rid of them. I sold them on a garage sale or something.
Because, some of those dolls from back in the day are worth pretty good bank now.
Anymore, you pretty much have to keep them in the boxes for them to be worth anything.
Glad you mentioned that. Over 700 Barbie dolls currently fill the room of a 9-year-old. Her name is Gianni Graham. She's in Norfolk, Virginia. But she has no plans to leave them in the packaging. But she also doesn't plan to play with the Barbie dolls. Guess why they're there?
Why?
This 9-year-old girl is on a mission to get 1,000 Barbie dolls, but not for herself. She wants to get 1,000 Barbie dolls for homeless girls that are her age.
Oh, that's
Isn't that cool? She says girls in shelters deserve the same things we have. I thought that was really cool. So Gianni Graham in Norfolk, Virginia, and I'm going to throw this on our Facebook page, and I think we should find a way to get a Barbie doll to her. I don't know how you do that exactly. Would we just mail one, or would you buy one there?
We would buy one and mail it, but Is there an address?
I don't know. I'll throw all the info. Everything I can find, I'll put on our Facebook page. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
I once tried to run away from home when I was little.
Why?
I don't remember. I was
Charlie?
mad. I don't remember what happened. I was maybe 7.
Okay.
But I grabbed my Barbie suitcase, and that's all I was going to take.
Was your Barbies?
And I left with my Barbies, and I ended up just sitting in the front yard playing with my Barbies. I didn't go anywhere. But I had my Barbie suitcase, and I was out the door. I was leaving. I was done. So I would have been homeless with only Barbies, and I would have been perfectly fine with that, and apparently.
How would that have made you feel, Heidi? I feel like we're doing some sort of...
No, I'm good.
Okay, just making sure.
I went right back in and had supper with my family. Everything was fine.
Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll continue therapy tomorrow for another episode of the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus break. It's brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. You can learn more about those crazy cats on their website, dollarshaveclub.com/radio. When you go there, you'll find out you can buy razors for as little as $3 a month. It's an awesome deal. They got some great stuff there. Go check it out. dollarshaveclub.com/radio. You know anybody with arthritis?
Yeah.
Because my mother has arthritis. I guess you know her.
Yes,
so that was kind of a dumb question,
yeah.
But I don't know if you knew that she had that. But I know several people with arthritis where they feel like they can tell you, ooh, wow, it must be getting ready to rain. I can feel it in my knee. So is there any truth to that, do you think?
I think so, because I can feel it in my knee and my ankle.
It says here, can they feel it in their bones, or is it a bunch of hot air that they can prognosticate the precipitation? You might think, with the marvels of modern medicine and the fortune we spent on research, we would have stumbled on some sort of definitive answer to this question, but we have not. One thing that research does point to is the likelihood that arthritis often signals to sufferers some change in the weather, but there is no indication specifically of what's coming. So what they're saying is, you know, if you feel something in your joints, you can't necessarily say it's going to be rain. It could be snow, or it could be something else, but they're saying they feel there's some sort of link, but there's no scientific proof of anything yet.
But it makes sense, right? I mean, like if it's getting humid, maybe because it usually gets really humid right before it rains, so maybe the humidity has some effect on whether your muscles are expanding or contracting or whatever, and you can feel that in your joints.
I suppose.
That makes sense. I don't know. It makes sense to me.
It does. It's cool. Moving right along, a Sacramento, California man was confronted by a police officer called to a site where somebody reported a vehicle on the side of the road. When he asked why the car was covered with piles of branches and tree limbs and weeds, he responded, "Do you guys think I'm crazy? It's stolen." Well, it was stolen.
Whoa.
So, yeah, he got in trouble for stealing a vehicle. He was trying to hide it on the side of the road under branches and leaves and such. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Just because that worked on Back to the Future doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
That would have never worked, by the way. NASA is giving you a chance to explore Mars through a 360 cam, 360-degree interactive photographs. Viewers can maneuver the images taken on the planet's Namib Dune, or Nam, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong.
I'm sure you are.
Namib? I don't know. Get a closer look at sand grains, Martian rocks, and NASA's probe itself. The probe first landed on Mars in August of 2012. For the last 2 months, it's been scoping and sieving sand. I'm sorry, scooping. How you doing over there? I'm a moron. It's been scooping and sieving sand to investigate active dunes and to see how the winds move on the dune field, lining the northwest flank of the planet's Mount Sharp. So there you go. If you ever get to check that out, I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I don't think I'll bother.
I skipped that story. Swiss scientists have demonstrated how partially paralyzed people can control a robot through thought alone.
What?
It's a step that they hope will one day allow immobile people to interact with their surroundings with so-called avatars. So they're Switzerland scientists working on having it where you can control a robot with nothing more than your thoughts.
Whatever.
That's the beginning of something interesting right there. If you think it costs too much to eat your fruits and veggies, think again. According to a study by the Department of Agriculture, because, you know, they got no stake in this game at all, consumers can get the recommended 3 servings of fruits and veggies and 4 servings of vegetables daily for less than $1. Really?
Yeah. Where are they shopping?
I don't see that. Recommended 3 servings of fruits and 4 servings of vegetables for less than $1.
I don't think so.
Oh, wait, less than $1 per serving? Maybe. But no, you can't. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I'm not against fruits and veggies because there are some that I really, really like. As a matter of fact, I'd like to have them more, but it's so expensive. Just saying. Moving on. Glad this bonus break is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club and not somebody else. Using data from the Centers of Disease Control, Fargo has been named America's drunkest city.
Oh.
Yeah. American adults have taken to... What is this, a different story now? Yeah, this is a whole different story. So I guess first let's talk about that. I think that you would almost have to, if you lived in Fargo, nothing against Fargo, because I'm sure it's a great place, but it's so cold there for so long, you'd almost have
need a little something to take the edge off.
Well, and
a little nip in the air, you gotta.
I can see that because when it's freezing cold and there's snow on the ground and you don't want to go outside, you're like, I'm gonna just stay in here. Well, I'm gonna just watch TV and have a drink, I guess. I could see that. I could absolutely see that. So, Fargo, drunkest city. By the way, there's a movie called Fargo. In that movie, nobody was drunk.
No,
they should have been.
Wasn't. Yeah.
But also, funny thing is, that was the dumbest name for that movie because there's only like one scene in Fargo. Mm-hmm. Everything else was in Minnesota somewhere. Mm-hmm. Where was it?
I don't know.
Somewhere else. Our son knows. You're no good at this game.
I didn't care. I didn't love that movie.
I thought it was good. Good movie.
I know you and Troy watch it all the time. I just didn't care for it.
Do you want to do a little jingle memory game, or do you want to just be done right now?
I don't care.
You kind of look like you're done over there.
I'm
going to see if you can
in this whole show.
I'm going to see if you can guess any of this stuff. I'm going to cover up this the answers. Yeah, I noticed that.
Okay, go ahead.
You're just laying there. I'm doing all the work. I mean, sitting there. What did I say? We're married. I can say stuff like that. All right. Tell me if you know which product this jingle was for. It's an up thing.
7-Up.
7-Up, yeah. Fall into the blank.
I have no idea.
Fall into the gap. Fall into the gap. Come see the softer side of Sears. Be all that you can be.
U.S. Army.
Yeah. Everybody needs a little blank. 3 letters. Everybody needs a little KFC.
Oh.
How about good? Good.
I
Campbell
don't know.
soup.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
How about nothing beats a great blank? Nothing beats a great pair of legs. Remember that?
I do, but that's not one blank. That's several blanks.
Nothing beats a great blank of blank.
Yes.
A pair of legs. I could have said pair of. Oh, I wish I were an
Oscar Mayer Wiener.
Yeah. The best part of waking
Folgers.
up. Folgers in your cup. If you want me to sing a jingle for your company, reach out to me.
I am available.
For some reason, nobody takes me up on these offers. You'll love it at blank. Never heard of it.
I don't know.
Levitz. You'll love it at Levitz. Never heard of it. And you'll get this one. Give me a break. Give
Kit
me
Kat.
a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. All right. It's going to do it for our bonus break.
All right.
That's probably the weirdest bonus break we've ever had. I think halfway through I just gave up. So I'm like, you know what? I bet nobody's even listening to this anyway. So now you're going to have to send me an email if you are and say, hey, you really have problems and you should take the meds. All right. Thanks for listening. Bonus break brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.